Hey guys, Booking in the Bat here, aka Cycler. So, today I wanted to do something a little bit different, and that's trying a collision fix mod by Rouge. From what I saw, this is a pretty impressive fix, not just fixing regular kind of clips with the homing attack, be it Shatter or Sonic, but even the Sky Gem with Sonic, so this is pretty big, because the Sky Gem is very, very useful for breaking out of bounds. So I tried a little bit on Xenia, but I wanted to save my full reaction for hardware. And for the rest of the characters. So yeah, with that, let's go and jump into this. Okay, so skip these enemies, switch to the Sky Gem, chuck a gem, and voila. No clip. I'll try jumping, Sky Gem, nothing over here. We'll even do these sides. Look at that, I am not escaping anytime soon. That's brilliant. It's really starting to feel like a different game now. When I switched to Flamecore, you could even say it's starting to look like a different game. Yeah, I am not breaking out at all. What about a homing attack? Because that, with my modified attributes, has been able to allow me to clip. But nope, that's not working either. Let's go. Okay, what about if I do this with the clear? That gives me a bit of speed, but yeah, no, that's still not working either. And that's what I mean, that's just one stage, so, you know, imagine the rest. Now, albeit it's not perfect, I think if I tried the blue gem with this current file that I have, using the Demo's blue gem that was scrapped, I'll probably clip, because it is so ridiculously overpowered, which is probably why they got rid of it. Let's just try it out. Yeah, look at that. Ridiculous speed. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. And for that reason, my custom modification to make the teleport dash speed for Silver faithful to the opening cutscene for Silver probably will also clip. But again, yeah, to be fair, those are ridiculous speeds, so I'm not expecting that to prevent me from clipping. But let's just try this over here. Yes, even this I can't clip out anymore, which is amazing. It's like, what is this? Like, I really wouldn't be surprised if, you know, there are some people out there that just look at this and go, this has to be a joke, right? This is Peter 6, right? Let's just try this one. Yep, homing attack's not working. What about the clear speed? Can that work? That's kind of a funky collision going on there. And finally, Sky Gem. I thought I did something. Yeah, this is really difficult to break, and that's amazing. This is, you know, it's only how it should have been 15, 16 years ago. Oh man. It kind of is sad in some ways that it's like they did have the ability to make the game into what we're seeing right now if they put the time into it. But, you know, that is just the thing. They didn't have the time, unfortunately. All because anniversaries are special when it comes to Sonic, even if it did miss it by a few months. What about Tails? Can I can't fly? I mean, I don't think that worked before anyway, but what about if I, try to land? Because this is kind of an issue that was here before. I don't know if that's changed a bit. Oh wow, I'm not used to seeing that tripping animation. Courtesy of Kara for that. Yeah, I'm really not used to that at all, because I don't even think Pier 6 has that. Now this door, I actually remember struggling in the original. I don't know if you actually can clip through it or not. But for this, yeah, I'd always use the sides here, but as you can see, yeah, no, that's not, I'm not getting out even through the sides anytime soon, so let's go. I actually wonder, out of curiosity, if I tried the blue gem here. Oof. You can see that struggled, actually. I cannot believe that they had that as the blue gem once. I mean, I know it's like, it's demo occurred and, you know, it didn't even make it into the demo's gameplay, so anything's possible when it comes to stuff that goes unused. But I really do wonder, were they actually planning for it to go this fast in the final at one point? Were they like experimenting with it to kind of slow down from that speed to what we got in the final? I really just can't wrap my head around how such speed could have been implemented. Because, I mean, it is a good speed, just maybe not for shorter, more enclosed stages, I guess. I don't know, maybe that's an indication that the speed would have changed dependent on the stage, maybe? I don't know. So, I did notice this. It is a little bit more difficult to cling to walls with this file fix. But what I didn't notice is how you really cannot cling at all if you do that screwdriver drill attack thing. Yeah, you are not clinging at all, you really have to glide to do it. I mean, thankfully there is a quick fix for this. It's just as simple as copying the unmodified file and telling the Knuckles file to locate that unmodified file. It's kind of what I did to fix an issue I had with the gauge up values for Shadow, Silver, and Sonic. Because I wanted it to affect Shadow a certain way, but it was affecting Sonic and Silver a way that was not faithful to the final. But like, yeah, even gliding, it is doable, but it's a bit more, you have to be a bit more head-on now. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the demo's take on it. Because I think even the screwdriver also struggled to cling to walls, if I recall correctly. See, like, even that I'm not used to seeing a bloody trip animation for Knuckles. It's like, oh man. You really wouldn't think that this is the same game as the retail version. Okay, alright, let's try skip ahead. This doesn't work. Let's try the clear gem. Let's try my trick, something I used to do when I was speedrunning the game. Because just by jump dashing and bounding immediately, I don't know why, but for some reason it can help with clipping through walls, or corners specifically. But yeah, no, that's not really doing it at all. Impressive. What reality is this? What world have I entered? This is not Sonic 2006. That's more like it. Like, you really just cannot look at this game anymore and say that it's the same. Okay, let's try Flame Core, because that has some janky doors. Much more easy to clip through than the likes of Aquatic Base, so this will be interesting. So I didn't know this, but apparently there was an issue that I ran into when I was trying to install this to hardware. Just as simple as having a second player connected. Don't ask me how or why, but clearly when I was installing some patch, I have no idea what, it's somehow affected it, so if I have, a second controller plugged in, it crashes immediately upon trying to load the Sega screen. So yeah, not really sure how I installed it, or what code caused it when I was trying to install which patch, because I didn't even know that I installed this issue, this bug. So yeah, this could have been here for months, potentially even years. Yeah, for all I know, this could be related to Remus's mod that attempted to fix the character gradient working when you purchase an item from the store. Because I installed that, but found that that caused crashes, so I had to uninstall it. But then I recently tried to install it, but couldn't find it. But my point is that some patches that do have issues that are known could also have issues that are unknown, such as the stuff that's affecting my two-player controllers at the moment. Anyway, let's try this. Yeah, see, normally I'd be able to run through this, and it looks like I can maybe do it if I'm lucky. If I had a bit of like homing speed, I probably could do it. I don't want to kill this enemy because then I'm going to open the door. Yeah, you can see him trying to fight into it. Oof. That's impressive. That is really impressive, actually. I'm going to get rid of him. There we go. That only made things worse. Okay, there you go. So, that's a huge improvement. That really struggled. But again, this is like a ridiculously positioned door, which makes it ridiculously easy to clip through, so I don't blame it for behaving this way. That's impressive. See, even that. Yeah, Flamecore's not really a nice stage when it comes to collision or terrain. It just really, you can tell that with what they tried to structure, it's kind of nice and all, it's just not nice with the physics. Alright, let's try Spin Dash. This door is pretty hard to clip through, so I'm not expecting this at all. If I try the blue gem, I'd probably do it, but Sky Gem, I think I'm going to struggle with this. Gotta be careful, I don't want to go over, of course. What about here? This has worked in the past. Yeah, no, see, that's not even doing it. So yeah, again, I'm not expecting this to be like a 100% complete fix of the collision detection, because of course it's still Sonic 06 at the end of the day, even if it doesn't look or feel the same, but still a humongous improvement. Now, unlike some patches, or a lot of patches, I actually was not expecting this to be achieved the way it was. I was expecting collision fixes to be possible, but I was expecting it in the form of a patch, when this is more of a mod, bit of value changes and code changes in the Lua files, which is impressive that, you know, just doing something like that can achieve something as big as this. Yeah, so I was informed that this one was not fixed. Yeah, that's, you know, give it time. I have faith that we'll get that fixed eventually, be it through this mod with its value changes, or even a patch. Alright, let's try clipping through this, even though it's not really a shortcut. Try running, that's not working. Homing attack, homing bound if we can. Spin dash, yeah. Sky Gem. Well, I guess that's always another method, going over. Again, while Flamecore's not exactly the best stage to try this out on, it is Flamecore, but in spite of what can still happen, this is a huge improvement compared to what it was. Because again, I want to remind people that this is Sonic 2006, this isn't PR6. Actually, I'm kind of curious if I can clip out of bounds now with Knuckles. I probably can, because, you know, jumping obviously still exists. I actually have no idea how this is going to get affected, if it's going to get affected, because for one thing I can push off walls now, so I don't know if that's going to affect this. Because before I could just kind of climb out instead of jump out, be it the speed or the collision changes. I actually cannot tell. And it's that ridiculously dark too. See, I think the push-off walls really do help with preventing that glitch. Because instead of pushing up and out of the terrain, you're pushing away from the wall, thus keeping you in the stage. So that is Flamecore done. Let's jump into Radical Train, since there's some doors that can be clipped through there. Yeah, this was like ridiculously easy to clip through with just a homing attack or jump dash alone in the corner. What about with the bound? Okay, yeah, no, that is an actual struggle. So yeah, it is possible, but again, it is like really hard to clip, which again is really great. That's a huge improvement by itself. Might not be perfect, but it's definitely a step in the right direction, and it'll only get better with time. I have faith. This community is expanding every day, and it's only going to get greater. The amount of passion that people have for trying to fix this game astonishes me. It's gratifying in a lot of ways, because you really just see that you're not alone. That there are people out there that actually do want this game to be good, that want to see it succeed. Oh my word. Collision? Hello? 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 Goodbye. Okay, was that like actually in the original? Because I do recall it, but not like that. It's probably something to do with the rotation interpolation, really making it as apparent as possible that, hey, you're upside down. Oh boy. So this is what I wanted to try out. Zero gauge, and now it's a full, faithful to the original as far as Sonic jumping from 0 to max, of course, not including the broken gauge meter. And I just realized I opened the door when I was supposed to test the bloody clips out. The only thing is I've got a time limit, which is always stressful for me when it comes to playing the stage, be it the original or PR6. Can't go over. under. Apparently the anti-grav does still produce some clipping results. I'm not sure where, but it can happen apparently. Wow, that's moving fast, I just realized. Yeah, I think this still can happen. It's just, it has been reduced a lot. Yeah, I'm actually really trying to get this to work and it's still not working. Okay, what about clear? Yeah, I'm not really getting that speed. That's kind of like it. Yeah, you get the idea. Yeah, look how far the distance... Yeah, look at that. That is ridiculous, the amount of distance that can be covered with that anti-grav. So from what I understand, it is a bit broken with Mark Speed Sonic. I'm not really sure how. I haven't ran into any issues from what I tested on Xenia. The thing is, I need a clip in order to get an answer to how this is not 100%, but I can't really think of like where to clip. I mean, there's not really a whole lot of room or areas that I can think of to clip. I don't know if it's like in relations to that, not triggering the oh no I hit something state or what. But I wouldn't think so, because that was kind of an issue with the original, if you knew which angle to hit and where and what terrain. Yeah, I mean, this isn't exactly a great stage to try clips on. Might have to try Kingdom Valley. So I'll quickly breeze through Kingdom Valley because I don't want to take too much time just playing as nothing but Sonic. So I do still want to try Silver and Shadow out. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, there is a little bit of action that we can see with clips. Probably not with this mod, but there was some clips that you could do. I mean, to be fair, that's a gap, which is just as simple as moving the door itself. Whoops. Yeah, that is actually difficult to clip through. And I want to say it's impossible, but that is not easy to clip through if it is possible. Let's try it from this side, actually. Ooh, yeah, you can see that, again, the anti-grav really wants to work and probably can. Yeah, I feel like there is a lot of strategies that are just waiting to be exploited with the anti-grav for retail speedruns. Actually, before I move on, I actually want to quickly show something that I did intend to point out. So I'm not sure how this happened, if it was a specific patch or some code change, what, but if you glide into the ground, doesn't matter how long you're running for, I can walk or run on walls. Yeah, this is pretty ridiculous. At first I thought it was the rotation interpolation patch, but I tried that by itself, and this doesn't happen, so I'm not sure if this has anything to do with specific lure changes or what. Maybe it's to do with the jump and push off walls patch. I have no idea, but this is something I did intend to address. But if you could do that in the original, I really do wonder how useful that could be for speedruns, because their run speed is actually really slow. So I do wonder if it would be worth setting that up if you could do it, as opposed to, say, just climbing to wherever you need to and jumping out of the stage. Okay, here we are. Moment of Truth. Arming attack. Nope. Spin dash. Nope. Arming and bound. Yep, I am not getting out anytime soon. Let's try the anti-grav out of curiosity. Yeah, again, you can really see him push into it. Like, yeah, he's really digging in to get out. Again, could very well be possible to get out, but if it is, very difficult to do so, as opposed to how it used to be. Alright, this will be interesting. Like, at this rate, the only way I'm going to get out, if this is impossible now, is through the windows above. Again, of course, not including the game-breaking blue gem. But yeah, that's what I meant. which I actually don't mind as an idea for a shortcut. It's not an implausible strategy. Yeah, I'm not getting out. Yeah, so this is a prick of a door to clip through, even in the original. Fortunately, through spin dashing and using the blue gem, you can clip quite easily in the original. Of course you do stumble over, but at the end of the day you're trying to get on the other side to reach that end section trigger, so what's the problem of stumbling over if it triggers the end? Sky gem, homing attack, homing inbound. Let's try over here. Damn, I was hoping that might have fixed the rotation, interpolation, jumping issue. And I think with that, that'll conclude Sonic's campaign for now. Was that a clip I just saw? So, alright, jump dashing. That's not working. Alright, right in the corner, let's try it. Nope. That's interesting. Never noticed that detail. If I'm quick enough, I can actually get to do a normal jump dash instead of a chaos smash. Yeah, I am not clipping out anymore as Shadow. I think Shadow will have a more harder time clipping out than Sonic. And I'm not just saying that because of the blue gem. I can't always do this. You know, sometimes I really can't believe that this is the Shadow that we were going to get at one point. Because again, this is Sonic 06 we're talking about. Like, that could have been worse than the Knuckles glitch from Rise of Lyric. Because unlike that being a glitch, it's actually part of the game. Okay, interesting. There's actually not as many doors, closed doors, that I remember. Because like even here, it's open, isn't it? Yep. Okay, that's more like it. Yeah, I am not getting out. Not this way. I don't get the whole point of this, having a door here, if you can just bloody, you know, just jump dash over here. It's like, I never got that. Again, lasers, they could make such a big difference. Okay, that's good. That explains why the spring is there, because it's like, ooh, you want to skip enemies? Think again. That explains an awful lot now. I never got that till now. See, unlike Sonic, Shadow doesn't have an anti-grav to kind of dig into the terrain. So, yeah, like I said, Shadow really is going to have a much harder time trying to get in. Like, you'll probably still be able to skip through doors with your Chaos Snap. For better or worse. We'll do that. So I won't actually go to section 2 for this, since there really isn't any doors, major doors, to get through there. Okay, this is what I wanted to majorly test out. Wow. Yeah, what a difference. Okay, let's try it from a little bit of distance. Yeah, I am not getting through. Let's go. So normally, yeah, again, I could just run through this, even as Shadow, and it would work. And again, you can still see a bit of traces of that. He is fighting it. If he had the anti-grav, maybe he could do it. What the? Oh my, I had no idea you could do that. So that's what happens. Okay, interesting. The things you can discover. Yeah, wow, even that struggled. Impressive. Yeah, wow, that's impressive. What about going over? Can I... No, I can't even land on that. Good. Not bad. Man, the day we get jump dash gravity for Shadow, whew, So one of the reasons I wanted to load in to Shatter's Flame Core as opposed to Shatter's Radical Train is because I actually wanted to show something with Rouge, and I totally missed the opportunity to show it off in Kingdom Valley. Can I get over? No. Don't know about you guys, but I cannot see a thing, so I have no idea if I'm in the heart of the corner or what. Probably one of my biggest critiques with this level. Like, I'm fine with darkness, but this is just dumb. This isn't even like Road to Nowhere darkness, this is just blindness. But yeah, I don't think I'm getting through that. Okay, so this is what I wanted to showcase. Yeah, with this collision enhancement, it interestingly has affected the way Rouge interacts with the bombs. For instance, if I throw it in the air, notice I get pushed back quite a fair bit. To be fair, this did happen in retail. If you look very carefully, you can see a little, very tiny bit of a push from each of the bombs, but here it's obviously much more of a radical and noticeable change. With this tech specifically, it even happens on the ground, but of course, since it's one, it's not as noticeable. Well, I say that, it is noticeable compared to retail. But yeah, in the air, it's obviously a lot more noticeable. Of course, this probably shouldn't happen, but you know what? I don't mind it. It's not like a huge issue. I don't mind the idea of kind of bouncing back from an attack. Kind of reminds me of what they did intend to program for Rouge's blast jump, which you can do in the final if you bomb something and then jump. Doesn't always work, but it's a weird time thing. I'm not really sure if it's like immediately or a few seconds later or what. Yeah, see, it didn't even work there. I think it works if you like do it in the air and then jump. Yeah, like that. That is an intended programmed thing. I certainly think the execution could have been a lot better, and I totally get for that reason why Pier 6 does not have that state implemented, but I'll go more into detail with what I would like to see with that eventually. Probably didn't need to get to the end, but might as well. So this has the Sonic ending from memory going to section 2. I think it's Silver's that goes backwards. I actually cannot remember if I could clip out originally with these attributes without the collision edits. Without the code changes. I have no idea. Because this was, from memory, a clippable door, but it was difficult to clip through. Yeah, that's struggling. Clip out here, because I remember speedrunners trying this. Nope. That's kind of how we want it anyway, to be closed and locked. Yep, speed's out of the question. Yeah, Shatter really hasn't had any real successful clips so far, which is pretty impressive. Again, there is Flame Core, but you know, Flame Core is kind of a special case. But you know what, even then, there wasn't like any like major clips. Who knows, maybe things will change if we do get the jump dash gravity with Shatter, since that'll push the jump dash into the ground, which equals more speed. Okay, what about this? This will be interesting, because I know you can do this clip in the original, but Shatter may interact with this a little differently compared to the original. Yeah, like I actually have to land on this center part, but I'm not even slightly gripping onto it, so yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. Which is actually pretty interesting. Ooh! Yo, that's interesting. I'm not sure if I'm not remembering this properly from the original, but from memory you can land on these parts. I know you definitely can in Sonic's, but that may be different for Shatter. But yeah, if it is the same with the Sonic's Shatters in the original, then yeah, it should be landing on this, so that may have just been fixed. Yeah, again, jump dash useless. Sides, useless. Door, useless. I never got the magnetism to that. It's so strong too. Look at that, it's like I'm virtually covering that part of the tunnel-like area, and he's still pointing the complete opposite direction. That's not like it. I never got that. I always thought Sonic should have had the fast jump panel, and Shadow got the platforming that Sonic got in the final. That's just a personal preference and opinion. Yeah, I didn't even try to clip. I keep forgetting to try to clip, which is kind of... which certainly is a testament to this mod, because it's definitely inviting me or encouraging me to play the game more legitimately for the first time in, you know, ever. In the original, of course, I'm talking. I don't even clip musics for this. Yeah, like even trying to clip out of bounds, it's not gonna work. I always wish that room opened up into the area that Silver ends up, where they syllabless in Elise. So this will be a very interesting test, because I kid you not, I do this pretty much 99% of the time, going straight from the start to the door, wait for the enemies to bomb the heck out of the health bar till I can exit the vehicle because of its destruction, to the point that I can just leave the vehicle, and I just go from that to clipping and ending the section. But now I think I may have to change my strategy. I could probably just Chaos Spear over it, at least until we get a bit of a cap with this Chaos Spear patch. Because I like the demo's take on the Chaos Spear, but obviously it's only really useful for being overpowered, because otherwise it is ridiculously overpowered for taking the game seriously. Like, I'm sure that they were planning on some kind of a cap. I mean, to be fair, this corner was already difficult to clip through, even before this. Okay, what about going over? Nope. Alternatively, there was here. But, yeah, that too has been made a lot more difficult, which is awesome. What about if I just try running? Because it looks like it's kind of fighting it. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, it's fighting it, but it's not actually broken out, which is, again, awesome. That's how it should be. Alright. Yeah, as I thought, I'm gonna have to go over. But, you know, take this TGS06 Chaos Spear out of the equation, and yeah, I would have to play it normally. Wow, this is actually a lot more higher than I thought. I don't get how they didn't have that tunnel merged, so you could actually run out. Because you can, like, literally see how it was intended to merge from that tunnel where the section ended to, you know, running all the way to the edge, have, like, a bit of a jump panel or two, shoot you down, and then you continue. I don't get how they didn't have that happen, how they couldn't just spawn you in at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, again, put some dash panels there, jump panels. I know it's rushed, but I don't know. Rush game's rushed. Alright, let's try this. Just stun these guys first. Yeah, that's not happening. Going over. Nope. This is impossible to do, which is pretty satisfying that I can say that for the first time ever in the original. Get some speed. Yep, not even that fails. Yeah, that is satisfying. Something as basic as behaving like real life. Who would have thought? Alright, have it here. Not that it really would make a big difference, but still. Why? Damn, I'm homing attacking off something. That must be Omega's stupid hitbox. I don't really get what I did, but somehow I think I've made it bigger than what it was, and, you know, it already was big before. Does this just open? Yes, it does. Ooh, that looks like he's kind of fighting it. Interestingly, not at the top, implying this terrain is kind of intercepting this here. Ooh, hello. Did I just... What was that? Again, maybe fighting it. I'm still not clipping. Probably angle that better. Yeah, no, I'm not getting out. I heard that apparently you can't land on these anymore to kind of break this. And, yep, that appears to be true. That's unbelievable. I had no idea. Oh, wait. Okay, no, I can still do it. But it has been improved, though. Interesting. Very interesting. I'll have to try it with silver and End of the World. See, like, even this, I kind of wish it merged into the final room with Mephiles Phase 2. And with that, that wraps up Shadow's campaign. So, this is kind of what I was afraid of. Running, that was never an issue when it comes to clipping. However, this, on the other hand, is... And of course, that's obviously not the original value, and for that reason, it's pretty clear why it clips. But even so, I nerfed it that much because I wanted it to be as faithful to the Blur Studio cutscene, the opening cutscene for Silver. And while you could say, oh, maybe it could be slower, or handled a little bit different, I still would like to think that I can still go that fast without clipping. So, I don't know, maybe I will put it back to normal or slow it down a bit. But I'd like to think that I can still keep that speed.
Those enemies look like they're guarding that door. Let's start by getting rid of them.
Of course, if you tried this with the original speed and buffer it to get that speed applied to your running speed, that certainly could result to some clips, and I'm sure that has been fixed, but of course because these are nerfed attributes, I can't really show that, at least with this mod. With that said, I will jump into the original after I'm done here, just to kind of give a perspective that things that you could clip through with Silver now can no longer be clipped through with this mod.
There's no other way ahead.
It does feel as though I have to put a bit more effort into clipping, as far as like being a bit more closer to do it, as opposed to being able to do it from a distance, regardless of how far I was. As long as I got to that corner with the teleport dash, I could still clip. Whereas, yeah, now that no longer happens. Well, it'd be nice. Actually, that's a thought. Can the extended teleport dash no longer clip you with this mod? That is something I'd like to know. What the fuck just happened? Oh my goodness, I've seen him move a little bit, but completely off screen. That's whew, okay. Good old 06 still, huh? Okay, good thing about doing this through, so I can kind of just quickly whiz through all of Silver stages, like so.
Like this? Under Soliana? A laboratory like this? Under Soliana?
I didn't mean
Laboratory like this?
die like so. Like so, like so. Or am I just gonna land in the flames? Now we're good.
Those enemies look like they're guarding that door.
I always hate the fact that you can't damage a Silver. You have to wait for this guy. And when he's close. But yeah, that kind of gives you a perspective as far as like what clips can allow me to do if I really try to clip and get to the end, as opposed to trying to clip but not being able to anymore.
Ow!
Ran right into that one. Fun fact, you can do this in the original. Actually, I'm gonna go grab the save point, because I'm probably gonna die dead at least once. Like so. That always pissed me off, the fact that the gauge starts replenishing when you do your water jump, when you've run out of gauge. And of course I did it again. Ah! Not that you really get a whole lot of gameplay out of this, but still. I wonder if we could fix that with jump dashing into the ground and taking off when you enter an air state, or better yet, even this, giving Blaze a jump dash state out of a warp state, because I'm, yeah, pressing X button and nothing's happening, I can only double jump. Of course it came towards me, what the fuck? Okay. I mean, yeah, this stage isn't really like a big hazard for clips and making huge skips that will save huge amounts of time. Wow, even this is actually difficult to clip into. I can't just run into it anymore. That used to be so easy to clip into with just a run. Now I actually have to like do the teleport dash. Again, makes me that much more curious about the retail attributes. Yeah, seriously, like, it's actually more easy to clip out of bounds rather than clipping into the cage. Wow, that is interesting. Impressive, really impressive. Let's try this clip. Yeah, that still works. I mean, of course it does at Silver's OP teleport dash. Yeah, I tend to forget how many doors there are for Silver's. Second section.
Okay, let's move on. What is that ball of flame? Is that the power?
So let's see if we can kind of get this one to work. Whoa, did we get it? We got it, okay.
Take him down.
Tricky. Does that have fixed point lights? Sure does look it. I don't remember installing that. Again, trying to cling to walls so far is the only real big noticeable difference. Like, look at that. Especially impossible from the screwdriver. Ledges. Okay, can still land. Alright, fair enough. Huh. Well, that's interesting. It seems to have kind of prevented this a little. Could just walk up there before. Doesn't even look like I can climb on that. There we go. I was gonna say, I could have sworn that you can. Where are your springs now? And with that, end of the world is done. Just out of curiosity. Never know. Yeah, no, this does appear to be pretty much the exact same. Yeah, alright. That's the last episode done, which means let's move on now to the retail version, but with just the collision edits. So that was a nice detour. I had to basically reinstall everything with the retail attributes, and of course the collision edits, so yay. But alright, yeah, that looks a lot better as far as retailness goes. Okay, let's try this. I mean, for comparison, I have no idea how useful this is. I'll try the teleport dash, that usually is a bit more reliable with results. Man, I'm so used to the P25 speed. Yeah, he does look to be struggling. Yeah, flat out. Even the teleport dash doesn't seem to be clipping. Wow. Okay, that is actually impressive. I mean, I really should try this in stages. But I did want to try the castle town since I haven't really done any of the hubs. Wow, they actually take a while. But yeah, we get the idea though. That's not clipping. Don't want to wait for it to boot me into a "ooh, you failed" message just to load me back to the menu. Wow, for reals, that is actually not working. I mean, not to say that it was easy before, but still. Yeah, really. I mean, again, it's tricky to get even without this enhancement. I usually can, like, kind of get it from here and then turn it as I get the dash and get a clip if I'm lucky. I mean, it still isn't easy, but I feel like I should be clipping with some of these. Like that one, that was pretty good. That one too. Oh god, this is a real freaking contrast. Going from the fixes, all the fixes, to the literal retail game with just a collision fix. My goodness. It's kind of painful, actually. I mean, not painful to play, it's just painfully sad how much, you know, it's starting to get to a point now where I'm starting to forget how much was either removed or scrapped or unused, whatever, you know, it is tragic. Yeah, that should be an easy clip, and I'm definitely not clipping through. Interesting. Let's try a dash into the run speed. Yeah, that should usually work. I mean, I'm not sure specifically this door, but usually it does. But the dash, the extended dash specifically, that should definitely be... Yeah, that flat out has been prevented, which is freaking amazing. Now this would be interesting, I'm not counting on it, but I didn't install any specific collision changes to Blaze. I only did silver for this video. With that said, I still have... Oh! Whoa! Hello! Holy shit, I wasn't expecting that. I flat out can't even clip through here. I mean, it's not even a clip, it was like a... I mean, you can see the gap there. But this flat out has closed the damn thing. Oh my goodness. Wow, I was not expecting that. That's cool! It's freaking awesome!
Yeah, it's cool. It's freaking awesome.
Wow. But as I was saying, yeah, because I only applied the value changes to silver and not blaze, there's a chance this could fail. But given what we just saw with the lasers, if I do get this, it could also fail. But I was going to try and get a clip. A clip I'm actually not too good at, but try my luck out. I did the thing, but I didn't get the momentum. Yeah, look at that go. Let's actually go. It ain't working at all, is it? You can see it fighting it every once in a while, which is pretty satisfying to see. Because you can see it actually freaking working. You can see how it was supposed to be. Yeah, no, that is not working anytime soon. It is satisfying. Again, big kudos to ROM for this amazing fix. But with that, that's going to conclude this coverage of this amazing mod. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. To any of my Naruto fans, stay tuned for the 15th anniversary playthrough stream that I'm going to be doing. Gonna be doing a bit of a speedrun stream where I'm pretty much just doing nothing but speedrun attempt. It's been a good 3 or so years since I did my last speedrun for the game, so it would be good if I could break a new record for the 15th anniversary. But yeah, till then, thanks again, have a good one, and I'm out for now. Peace.